Okay, I'm back. I'm back and I'm ready to install the Raspberry Pi 4B into the case. I took the time to read the README first card carefully. I also read the first part of the Canikit Raspberry Pi 4 Quick Start Guide. Well, it said you've got to install the SD card after you put it in the case. That's very important, so you don't mess up the SD card. So I'm going to do that. The case snaps open very nicely, and the Raspberry Pi should just sit right in. Probably snaps in somehow. Oh, there's the place for the SD card. Right on the bottom there. They don't want you to put the SD card in first. So make sure you get the Raspberry Pi in the case first. I believe it snaps right in. There is a video about how to assemble this. I did not watch the video. I thought if it was self-explanatory, I'd give it a try first. And it looks like I got it in, because I see that the SD card's lined up. Now they said there's heat sinks to go on the Raspberry Pi, and there's a fan for the case. So I'm going to remove the fan from the bag here and put it in the top of the case. I also read in the book about what wires to use to connect the fan to the Raspberry Pi 4B, so I'm going to follow those instructions. There's the fan. It's a very cute little fan. I believe it just snaps in. Which way's up, do you think? Well, you probably want to do it this. Probably want to put the case top face down, and then put the fan in, such that the print shows up. Otherwise, the fan blades would sort of be exposed, and we don't want something like that. A lot of these things are self-explanatory, but if they're not, you have to know to stop and find out. But yes, it's very snug there. Then it said that there's 2 wires for power for the fan, and they actually go to the 40-pin header on the Raspberry Pi board. You know, this is the first place we can learn more about Raspberry Pi. Red goes to pin 2, and black goes to pin 3. So I'm going to just do what they said. Oh, pin 4 and 6 is shown below. So I got that wrong. Red to pin 4 and black to pin 6. And we're not going to go at a slower speed and put red to pin 1 instead. So now what I do is I get out, this is my chance, this is my first chance to look something up. And I have the cheat sheet here, and it says that pin 4 is 5 volts and pin 6 is ground, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So I carefully take this case, top of the case, pin 6 is ground, pin 4, carefully holding the wires, carefully holding the case over so that I don't rip the wires out from the fan or pull the fan out of the case, and then bring the case snug. There it's assembled. Now we have to, oh, but we forgot one thing. This is the whole deal with this stuff. Here, oh, here's another cheat sheet. But this cheat sheet, this cheat card, is just sort of instructions about taking care of the Raspberry Pi. I open up the case again carefully, if it's not too stuck in there. And now you see why I made a video. when you have to do things over again, be careful. So now it's snug like that. And now here in the book also, but it's not that I wasn't taking my time, it's just that, look, there's so many little things like this. It's hard not to mess it up a little bit. I already did one thing for myself, which was take close-up pictures of the Pi board, in case I wonder what chips those are later on, if I can read them in the pictures. I have a magnifying glass for my cell phone camera. So maybe I'll post them on my website at some point. So here's 3 heat sinks. Take off the little blue stuff carefully with your fingernail without taking the adhesive off. And there's the big one for the chip. I'll try to get it on squarely. Right on. Then we take the other one for the next size down, the next biggest chip. And that goes on this one. And the one thing I think would help, but I'm not going to do it right now, would be to use pliers to lower it down on. But I got it right on carefully, so I don't have to worry about that. And here's the last heat sink for the 3rd largest chip on the Raspberry Pi board. So I carefully remove the blue tape and put it right down on top of that chip. And it's down. And close the case. And the Canakit case with the Raspberry 4B Pi is assembled.